So I am out here working on the cows, and I just put down some new bedding. And this girl, she looks like, I don't know, to me she looks like, this is Hathor, my biggest black Angus girl. And she looks like she's about ready to have a calf. Her bag's filled out, and from her rear end, looks like she might actually push one out today, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, all you herpers, I am back here in my snake room to feed your reptile addiction a little bit more. So I actually have a whole bunch of egg boxes here, and they're all hatching, coming out, and this place is really filling up. So I actually filled up all these hatchling racks, and I have only 3 spots on the bottom, so we are going to move over to my ARS 1065 and start filling this baby all the way up with hatchlings. So let's take a look at what we have. I'm going to set this up on this tripod, just kind of go through, and I'm going to do things a little bit different this time. So normally what I do is I go through and I'll cut the eggs a little bit early, and then wait a few more days, and then we'll look at them. And this time I think I let a lot of them go a little bit longer, so a lot of them should be out of the eggs. And if it's not in the egg, I might cut, but if it's out, I'm just going to go ahead and figure out the males and the females, go ahead and put it in the hatchling rack, and then we'll wait a little bit on the stuff that hasn't come out, but the stuff that has come out, I'm going to throw it in the rack. And we'll just go through these boxes one by one and take a look at what we have here. Alright guys, so this is it. Box number 1, clutch number 7. The pairing was a lesser crossed with a bamboo. It was actually a 10 egg clutch. And we have 2 boxes of 5, I believe. I believe. Oh, yes! Yes! Oh, yeah! Woo! First thing I see right off the bat, you know what this is? This white snake right here. This is what I was shooting for. So this, ooh, she is not all the way out of the egg. I think we can take her tail out. I think she's far enough out. She's hanging out for dear life. She or he. So, basically, this is a BEL, a blue-eyed leucistic. And when you mix a lesser with a bamboo, if you get 1 copy of each gene, you get a bamboo lesser. And a bamboo lesser comes out as an all-white snake, and it acts as a super. And so I'm definitely going to hold this back, no matter if it's a male or a female. I definitely wanted one of these this year. So everything this breeds with will be either a lesser or a bamboo. So I'm really excited about that. So I was actually hoping I could replace my male bamboo with a male lesser bamboo, and then I'll get absolutely no normals at all, which would be pretty cool. So we're going to take a look at this guy. I might get a little bucket of water and clean these guys up a little bit. Normally I put a little plastic grate in here and kind of keep them off the vermiculite. And then this definitely looks like a lesser. Right here, that's a beautiful lesser. Just a plain lesser. So our odds were we could get the lessers, or we could get bamboos, or we could get a bamboo lesser. It was basically what the odds were in this pairing. So it looks like we got 2 out of the shell, and we have 2 that we can cut. Actually, maybe there was a 9 egg. I thought it was a 10 egg clutch, but it looks like it was a 9 egg clutch. So I think what I want to do first is maybe I'll get a bucket of water and I'll clean these guys off a little bit, and then I'll figure out which one's male and female, and then we'll go ahead and set them up in the rack, and then we'll come back and we'll cut these and put them back in the incubator. Okay, so I cleaned this guy off, a little bit of water, and I probed him. Basically I used this little probe and just put it right in the pocket of his tail on the bottom here, and it tells you which one, if it's a male or a female. And this one happens to be a female. I was kind of hoping for a male. It's still pretty cool. But yeah, I was hoping to actually replace my bamboo. So I'm hoping actually for another one. The female's pretty cool, but you know, for a female, you have to wait 3 years, and then you'll basically get one clutch at a time. But for a male, I could breed them within like a year, year and a half, and I could, you know, pair them up with 3 or 4, or even up to 5 different females, and get a lot of babies right away. So it's still pretty exciting, but not exactly what I was hoping for. So I'm going to set this girl up down in the bottom over here on one of these very bottom tubs. I'm going to use up the bottom 3, and what I do is I use a label maker, and I'll show you how to make the labels. Okay, so this is how I set them up down here, and this is the label way down at the bottom. So basically 18 for 2018, C7 for clutch 7, F for female, and some bamboo lesser. It's in this little ARS 1039 hatchling rack. And normally what I do is I put a moss ball in here, and if you look at some of my other ones, I actually use, believe it or not, I actually ran out of moss balls. So some of these bottom ones don't have the moss in it. But if you look up here, I use this, this one was actually under the moss ball. Basically I take the sphagnum moss and I put it in a little netting. But I actually ran out of the netting, and the guy on Amazon that sold the netting actually stopped selling it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this sphagnum moss, and this is kind of what I buy on Amazon. It's a really clean. You can buy it cheaper, but it's not as clean. And I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to expand it in one of my tubs, and just put the moss in there without the netting. It gets a little bit messy, but until I can find some more netting, it'll work for these hatchlings. So this moss block is actually pretty compressed. What I do is I just pour water on it and just kind of let it fall apart. It'll really suck up the moisture, and I just kind of let it kind of absorb a little bit before I break it apart. I've noticed with this moss that if you actually take it apart while it's dry, it actually kind of breaks up into that fine kind of almost like a powder. So it's always best to kind of get it wet before you break it up. And so basically what I'll do is I'll just take a little of this wet stuff, and you don't really need a whole lot, just about as much as a ball. Squeeze the moisture out, and then just put it with each hatchling. So that's basically it for this guy. Alright, so I cleaned this guy off. This is a lesser, and it's a female. I actually have 2 female lessers that are breeding size, and one of them laid eggs and the other one didn't. It was kind of a bummer, but at least I got one of them to lay. And this girl is really looking good. She'll make a good breeder. So I'll probably sell her at the show. She's a really good looking snake. So yeah. Okay, so here's how I set this one up. Pretty much the same way. And they really love that moss. Really like to get into it. And I like to keep it from the heat panel in the back, and keep it kind of close to the water so they can get into the water. So I think this will work really well. If I keep her head in there. Okay, the weird thing is, you know, we had 2 eggs that didn't hatch. Well, today is actually day 63. I have never seen eggs go 63 days without hatching. And this one seems really, really firm. So I'm thinking, I'm not sure what's going on with this. I've usually seen them dimpled. I've never seen them, you know, usually if they're like this, they have a lot of liquid in them. So yeah, this is really liquidy. So I'm just going to kind of peek in here to see what's going on. And it is definitely a mess here. I might not even hardly cut this at all, because we know it's either going to be a bamboo or a lesser, or the blue-eyed leucistic bamboo lesser. And this one actually looks like a bamboo, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a bamboo. That one I'm not going to cut very much because there's a lot of liquid in it. So here I'll kind of I'll give you a sneak peek. I'm pretty sure that's a bamboo in there. Oh, it's just like solid liquid in there. I'm just going to put that right back in the vermiculite. And then on this last one here, let me get a different paper towel. It's pretty goopy. I always get kind of nervous cutting the ones with a lot of liquid in them. So then on this one, I'm hoping for another blue-eyed leucistic. Hoping for a male. If we can hit the odds right here. Ooh. I think I hit a little vein. They have sometimes they have little tiny veins on the top that you hit them and it bleeds a little bit. It's usually not an issue. Sometimes I feel like they just kind of need help getting out of the egg too. Wow, this one looks all white. The thing I don't like is that I don't know if you can see it, but sometimes they have a little ball right on the belly. I'm gonna take the zoom out of this. Maybe you can see it a little better close up. But that definitely looks like another blue-eyed leucistic. So that's pretty exciting. And that little ball, hopefully it's not a problem with the umbilical cord, because I've seen problems there before. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to put the same old press and seal back on. Shake the water off. I think it'll be fine. And then I'll just throw it back in the incubator until these guys actually fully come out. Alright guys, you ready for box number 2? Woo! This is actually the same pairing, the lesser and the bamboo. Let's see if we can get some BELs this time. Let's see what we have. Wow! Wow. Looks like they've all come out. Wow. Yeah, these guys are definitely doing a little better than that last box. Oh, wow, there's still one that hasn't come out. So, not very good odds on this one, actually. It looks like we have a lesser. Nice looking lesser. And a bamboo. It's still kind of, oh my. I've been having a problem with these umbilical cords. If you can look on that one, it looks like, oh man, looks like this guy might have a problem. And then, unfortunately, not very good odds on these guys. 2 normals. The one that hasn't come out yet. So I'm not sure quite what to do with this bamboo. I'm tempted just to leave them in here with this other one until they totally come out. So I'm going to take a look at this lesser and clean it up and see if it's a male or a female. Alright, so I probed it, and this is a male lesser. So I'm going to go ahead and set them up in the hatchling rack. Alright, so take a look at this. So this guy's all set up. Our male lesser. And he is the last slot in my ARS 1039. Completely full. So I'm going to start, I guess, on the top left and move over to the right. So the top left will be the oldest. And then I'll move down to the bottom right, it'll be the youngest. And I'll just go ahead and work through. Okay, so this normal, this really big normal, is a female. And she just looks like a regular normal. Nothing real too fancy about her. She does have kind of some lightning down at the bottom, which is kind of interesting. It's pretty light. But you can see all the little alien heads. It's definitely a nice looking normal. So I did notice on these guys that once you clean them off a little bit with that water, they just start running, and it's really hard to probe them. But this guy is a male normal. And one thing I noticed, he's got a little bit something going on with his navel too. And that seems to be what's taking out my snakes the most, is navel problems. I'm not quite sure how to fix that. I always thought I was taking them out of the egg too soon, but these, you know, I let them go quite a bit longer, and especially on that bamboo in there. It looks like he's still got some problems, so not exactly sure what's causing it. So I'm going to go ahead and set this guy up. Okay, here's that last egg that was in there with that bamboo that looked like kind of had some navel problems. So, and this one, it's weird. This is 63 days too, and it's really, really firm. Look at that, it's just oozing out. Wow! I've never seen one ooze out like that. That is wild. It's almost like I'm cutting way too early. But it's 63 days. I've never seen them still in the eggs with that much liquid in 63. I'm just going to peek in just a little bit. So, what was the pairing on this? What in the world is this? That's a bamboo. Yeah. That's definitely a bamboo. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I'm not going to cut it too much because it's just so liquidy in there. But wow. You can see it's definitely a bamboo. That's pretty wild, huh? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back in the box. And this one, this poor guy, I'm not sure how he's going to do long term with this whole navel thing going on, but I'm just going to put the same press and seal back on, kind of like the last one, and put it back in the incubator. And then I was actually thinking of leaving a couple spots for these guys in the hatchling rack, but I'm not sure exactly. I may just keep track of the clutches and kind of move stuff around later once they come out. Okay, so we have 3 boxes left. So this one, let's take a look at this one. I'm going to move this one over. And this one, it's actually supposed to, so the 10th of July is actually the 55th day, and it is the 17th. So that would make it 62 days. And normally, what I've seen is most of them are hatching right at 60 days. So some of these should be hatched out. I think in all these I saw either little heads sticking out or snakes coming out. So let's take a look at this one. Alright, the box opening is always the most exciting for me. It's like opening Christmas presents. You never know what you're going to get. Ooh, wow. Oh, interesting. So we do have one bad egg right here. And I did notice there was a few bad eggs. And I decided to actually just leave the bad eggs in instead of opening them up and fishing them out. And I've seen people... You know, some of the breeders, they leave them in and they don't have a problem at all. And in this case, even though it's attached to this one, this is still a good one here. So this is really interesting. I'm not exactly sure if I want to cut these or not. These are actually dimpled enough to where I probably could cut them and take a peek. You know me, I really want to take a peek. Wow, these are still really stuck together. And this bad one, ooh, wow. I'm not even sure what to do with this clutch. So, I'm actually just tempted to leave the whole thing in there for a few more days, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we have 2 more boxes left, and the weird thing about this, take a look at this. So the hatch, the 55th day is the 14th, and today is the 15th, right? Yeah? Today's the 15th. So these are actually 1 day older than the 14th. I actually saw a snake come out 2 days ago. And the only thing I can figure is, late in the afternoon, I've actually seen the sun kind of partially hitting the box in the incubator. So I think the increased temperature, it must have increased the temperature enough on some of these to actually make them come out early. So let's take a look at what we have in this box here. Wow! Whoa! Beautiful. Alright, so it was a pinstripe crossed with a bamboo. It was an 8-egg clutch, so I'm assuming the other 5 eggs are in the other box. This is really interesting here. So it looks like we have a beautiful, beautiful bamboo. That's what the base morph bamboo looks like. Very nice. And then, looks like we hit the odds on this one. So this is actually a pinstripe bamboo. Very easy to see on that one. Very, very nice. You can see it kind of breaks up the pattern. And I don't know if he captured this on film, but it looks like it has a slight pink hue to it, which is kind of interesting. I've never seen one quite as pink like this. And the way it's got part of its belly in the egg, I'm kind of worried that it's going to have an umbilical problem. Which makes me really nervous. I might try to actually cut around that. And then this guy is sticking his head out. I'm pretty sure that was a normal. Sticking his head out. Oh no. Huh. It's not a normal. It is a pinstripe. Huh. Nice. We got a nice looking pinstripe there. So we got a pinstripe, a bamboo, and a pinstripe bamboo with no normals. That's some pretty good odds there. That's quite the variability. Let me see if I can cut this guy out. Boy, he is like really stuck in there. Might be able to come out now. Maybe the hole just wasn't big enough for his whole body. If I can get them out. I've never actually ripped an egg. I've always cut it. I think I'll have to cut a little more. Oh, he's going back in. He's definitely ready to come out, I think. Oh, maybe. I don't know. He's kind of goopy in there. You know, maybe I'll just, maybe I'll let him come out on his own. Yeah, the whole umbilical thing just kind of freaks me out. I had one that came out, I thought it was too early, and came out right away with a big ball on his umbilical, and I thought if he would have stayed in the egg a little, maybe he could have absorbed it a little. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up this bamboo here. This is actually my 9th clutch. So I'll go ahead and figure out if this is a male or female, and then I'm just going to put these guys back in the incubator and let them cook for a little bit longer. Alright guys, so this is a male bamboo, so I'm going to go ahead and set them up in the rack. Okay, this is my last and 5th box. This is actually clutch number 9, and we've actually had 13 clutches laid this year, so we have quite a few more coming up, and let's see what the odds gods gave us this time. Ooh. Alright, let's see what was the pairing on this. Oh, this was the same. The pinstripe crossed with the bamboo. Very nice. Very nice. It looks like almost everybody is out. Throw the eggs away here. There's one that's not quite out, but I'm guessing. So this is what, 56 days on these guys. I'm just going to pull this guy out, maybe. 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 Maybe I can just tease him out. Well, alright, I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to get this guy out. Yeah, he's definitely... With all the other ones out, I'm sure it's... Yuck! That was kind of disgusting. Alright, so let's see what we have here. We have... let's see, it looks like we have 2 normals. These guys look... Wow! These guys look completely normal. Kind of a more of a gold. Really a golden. This looks really interesting. Boy, it almost doesn't look like... It almost looks like it could have something in it. What was this one? The pinstripe. So, that bamboo is bred with a lot of different things. I'm thinking if there's something else in here, it might come from the pinstripe. But, I'm pretty sure that's just a normal. The pattern's a little bit broken up, but... this one, that's pretty much a normal. This one here... it's kind of got a little bit of a swell right here. I think maybe not. That's definitely a bamboo pinstripe right there. It's very dry too. And I would say these other 2, these just look like bamboos. And it's kind of interesting on these that it's kind of a lower contrast. It's not kind of a It's not quite the high contrast that I've seen on my other bamboos. This one seems more of a high contrast. But if you compare these guys side by side, I don't know if you can tell. One's the bottom, the one on the left is just a little more, not quite as dark and sharp. I thought that was kind of interesting. Alright. Wow, all of them out at 56 days. That's pretty amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and wash these guys off, and then I'll go ahead and figure out which are males and females. So on this bamboo pinstripe, I'm pretty sure it's a female. It's kind of hard to tell because the tail is really kind of thin at the end. It seems like on this one the head, you get a little bit of a it seems like a wobble. Look at that, just a little bit of a wobble. Which I don't know, bamboo. I don't know if it's because he was so dry or just out of the egg, or if it's just kind of a fluke with this guy. This seems a little wobbly. But he has seemed really dry, and seems like he's got a little something in his belly maybe. But we'll have to definitely keep an eye on this guy. But I'm pretty sure it's a female. Okay, so this is the lighter bamboo. That was a little bit lighter. And that is definitely a female. That probe barely went in there. I had to check it like 3 times. But yeah, that is definitely a female. That's a good looking snake too. I really love the pattern. It's really neat. So here's the higher contrast bamboo. It looks like this one's a male. It's a good looking snake. Alright, this one looks like a normal female. And I did notice a lot of these seem to have kind of a more of a swollen belly. A lot of the ones in this clutch, so hopefully they'll all be okay. It's just a little bit thicker. I think maybe just because they're still developing. Maybe they're still absorbing the yolk because they kind of hatched a little bit early. But we'll just have to keep an eye on them. Alright, for my last snake, very last one, it is a normal male. Nothing too exciting on this one. Alright, so we filled this whole rack totally with hatchlings. And we made a pretty good dent in this one. Filled the first level and then 3. And then we'll definitely come back in a few days and take a look at the rest. But check out this moss. This is pretty cool too. So it really expanded really well. So I actually filled all my little hatchlings. I had some over here. I think I filled, I probably did several tubs all the way up. I don't know if I went this high. These guys had balls over here. I guess all the way to this one. So I filled all these and all the way down here and all those up there, and I still have all this moss left. So some of these, at one point, I'd like to go through a lot of these some of these coral glows are really stunning. And boy, I really have some these calico bamboos. I wasn't really sure if they were calico bamboos at first, but now that they've shed out, I don't know. Take a look at this. But you can really tell it's definitely a calico bamboo. Just how white the sides are and how reduced the pattern is. So at some point I'm going to have to go through all my hatchlings and kind of do a showcase of everything I have. I really didn't want to sell anything until I have all my hatchlings kind of all set up and I kind of see what I have and how I want to expand. And what I want to keep. I haven't quite decided if I want to expand a lot or a little, or I know I have kind of room up here in these tubs for, I think it's 8 more, 9 more. So basically 9 tubs here I can have for holdback. So I was thinking of doing at least 9. And then if I hold back some of these hatchling tubs, they'll eventually get too big. So probably what I'll have to do is start replacing some of my bigger normal females. That's probably what I would do. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, probably 3 or 4 more days, and we'll go back through the rest of the ones that I have in the incubator, and we'll check those out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.